I recently relocated to Orlando from Miami. I moved to some apartments that most would consider really nice. Not high-end or anything, but definitely nice. Miami was just too expensive, which is the reason for my move. So because I work from home and I have 2 dogs, I wanted to get a 2-bedroom apartment. One that can be an office that I can work from and one for me to sleep. After having my office in the same room I slept in my last home, still lived with my mom, it felt suffocating, as if I never got to escape work. This has been much better for me mentally, and I feel like I'm actually leaving work after I close my laptop. So I've been here about a month and recently saw a family moving in. I'm very introverted, so I didn't introduce myself or anything. The only time I really ever have contact with anyone is when someone is walking their dog at the same time I am, and our pups want to say hello to each other. Very quick small talk and then we're on our way. Today, as I was going back inside after walking my dogs, I saw the wife and I just gave a friendly smile. Nothing more. I decided I should throw the trash out before I clock in for the day, just to get it out of the way. As I was walking back to my apartment, the wife stopped me to introduce herself. I introduced myself as well. She then asked if I lived with a girlfriend or anything. I told her no, it's just me and the pups. She gave me a strange look that I can only describe as annoyed. She asked if my apartment had 2 bedrooms. I told her yes, that there are 2 bedrooms. She asked me why I wanted 2 bedrooms when I live alone and explained to her the office sleeping thing I mentioned above. Now this is the part where I may be the idiot. She said that it was really inconsiderate and rude to bigger families to take up a 2-bedroom apartment by myself. That her family of 4, husband, wife, and 2 kids, has to share a 1-bedroom because people like me decided to steal the 2-bedroom apartments. I said that it sucks that you feel that way, but there's nothing I can do. She said I should trade apartments with her. I thought she was joking, so I just started laughing. Not a nervous laugh or anything, I just genuinely found her suggestion hilarious. I then said that her living situation doesn't concern me and that if she wanted a 2-bedroom apartment, she should have looked harder. She said she was going to report me the building, and I said that she should report me to DeSantis, Florida governor, while she's at it. I went inside and left her there screaming like a crazy person. Am I the idiot? I think laughter was the appropriate reaction. Next time, just ignore her and her family completely. Consider getting a doorbell camera because these people are clearly unhinged. Not the idiot. Yeah, that's the plan. Just never want to interact with them again. The doorbell camera I've had for some time, so definitely keeping that motion sensitivity as high as possible. If her family of 4 is living in a 1-bedroom apartment, it's not because you are living in a place that you can afford and it suits your needs. It is because either she and her husband cannot afford a place that suits their needs and their desires, or because she and her husband are putting their desires above their actual needs. You are not the idiot. She is the idiot for being judgmental and having a highly flawed so-called logic that allows her to spew such self-centered, inconsiderate nonsense. Not the idiot. I very much doubt there are no other 2-bed apartments in the place where you live. She should rent one of those. She's being a mooch. I'm not trying to justify her reasoning, but I'm not going to lie, there was a waitlist for these apartments. I actually had to wait about 6 months from the time I applied to when I actually got the keys. Maybe she was in a sink or swim situation and got whatever she felt was the quickest solution. Still the same judgment. She doesn't have to live in those specific apartments if there isn't one available that's not suitable for her family. My boyfriend, 30M, and I, 28F, have been together for about a year, and when our city implemented lockdown for the virus, he decided to quarantine with me at my apartment as I live alone and have a nicer apartment, and he has several roommates. Mostly it has been going well, and thankfully we both still have jobs, except in the first few weeks I started noticing that the bathroom floor was suddenly always wet around the toilet. The sink is across the room from the toilet, so it's unlikely to be from the sink. At first, I thought it might be water, but soon realized that it was definitely pee. I asked BF about it nicely, and he apologized and said sometimes he has bad aim. I asked him to try a little harder and he said sure. The floor continued to be frequently spattered with piss, and a few weeks later I confronted him about it again because I think it's pretty gross to step in his pee several times a week, and it seems like an easy thing to fix. If he misses the toilet, I think the very least he could do is make sure to wipe it up with toilet paper or a Clorox wipe. The cleaning supplies even live in a cabinet directly over the toilet. He said sure, sorry, he would try to remember to do that. Another week has passed and while maybe he's doing this sometimes, I've continued to step in splatters of his pee and wipe it off the floor and clean the floor several times a week. I thought about asking him to just pee into the bathtub or something instead because I don't understand how you can pee on the floor by accident so often and not notice and not clean it up. Last night I got up to use the bathroom in the middle of the night and absolutely stepped in piss for another time. I had it and I didn't want to pick a fight or ask him again since it seems clear he can't or won't change, so I got one of my dog's wee pads from when he was a puppy. He is well trained now and cut it up a bit and taped it down to make a sort of skirter mat around the floor near the toilet to at least absorb the piss. BF saw this morning and is furious with me, saying that I'm calling him a dog, comparing him to an animal, etc. Honestly, I was not thinking that at all, I just was trying to be resourceful and solve the problem for myself, since I don't like pissing on my bathroom floor and don't like stepping in it. I didn't feel like arguing about it anymore, and putting a material specifically meant to absorb pee around the area he keeps peeing on by accident seemed like a practical solution. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If he pees like an animal, then this is a perfectly appropriate solution. BF needs to grow up and be more considerate. This is disgusting. I'd honestly consider telling him he needs to sit down to pee at this rate. Not the idiot. I don't know if long-term cohabitating and/or marriage are in the future for you two, but he is telling you right now how he is going to behave in the future. You should expect that if you settle, you will be dealing with pissy bathroom floors for the rest of your lives together. Not the idiot. If he misses, he needs to clean it up. This is why I make my BF sit. If he doesn't, there's a mop waiting for him. You tried talking to him and he kept doing it. I, 21M, share an apartment with another guy, John, 22M. John started bringing his GF Macy around a couple of months ago. Which I didn't have a problem with. She'd just stay here a couple of nights a week. The problem started happening over a month ago. Macy came to my room once and asked if she could use my bathroom. The apartment has a bathroom in each individual room because John's is a mess. I've been in there before and I agree. He never cleans it, the tub is stained and full of hairs, streaks of piss on the toilet seat smell like crap, and looks as bad as a men's restroom at a public park. Kinda wish I never let her. After that, whenever she was there, she'd ask if she could use my bathroom or straight up go when I'm not there. How did I know? I started noticing toilet paper balled up in my trash bin. My ex used to do this too when she would change her tampon, so I knew right away. After that, whenever she was there, she'd ask if she could use my bathroom or straight up go when I'm not there. How did I know? I started noticing toilet paper balled up in my trash bin. My ex used to do this too when she would change her tampon, so I knew right away. Then she would literally use my shower when I'm not there because I also started seeing these long hairs stuck on the shower tile. Not only that, I work night shifts, so until late afternoon I'm sleeping in my room. She would wake me up to ask if she could use the bathroom. After I started saying no, she just started sneaking in. I'm a heavy sleeper, but a couple of times I did catch her and she apologized, but it's because she can't stand using John's bathroom. I'd tell her to tell him to clean it then and problem solved, but she says he promises he will then never does. I'm already irritated with this and don't want her continuing to go in my bathroom. So I went and got a lock for my room. A few days ago, John was pissed with me. Turns out while I was sleeping, she kept knocking on my door trying to go in, but the lock kept her out. Anyways, she needed to pee really bad, and John was already using the bathroom and had the runs. So yeah, I guess she was banging on my door, but couldn't hear cause I was knocked out and also had my headphones on. She ended up having a small accident cause she couldn't hold it any longer. Because of that, she got mad at John, so now he's mad at me. I told him why I got the lock, and I don't want his girl coming into my room whenever she wants to use the bathroom. It's weird and she leaves her own mess too. Still thinks I was an idiot for getting a lock in the first place and doesn't think it's such a big deal for her to use the bathroom because it's not like she snoops in my room, I mean sometimes I'm not there. Also dramatic according to him to go through all that trouble. Macy is giving me the side eye whenever she's there now and says I didn't have to be like that with her. So yeah, I didn't mean for her to have an accident. Don't think I'm overdoing it by getting a lock when I kinda feel like I didn't have another option. I wasn't the idiot here though, was I? Cause they sure as hell acting like I am. Not the idiot. You absolutely had to be like that with her. She was going into your room when you weren't around and sneaking in while you were asleep. What a huge breach of privacy. Also, you agreed she could use the bathroom the times she asked for permission. You didn't give her blanket permission to use the bathroom whenever. Not to mention she wasn't cleaning up after herself, she was expecting you to clean up after her. Also, she should dump your roommate if he's so disgusting that she can't share a bathroom with him. I'm surprised she trusts the cleanliness of his junk. Their issues aren't because you are now enforcing what should be an obvious boundary, their issues stem from your roommate being a huge slob. Not the idiot. I feel sorry for the girl having an accident, but seriously, how did she get into that situation? I've held my pee for hours before, and I've never known a case of the runs to be so constant that he couldn't give her a few minutes to use the toilet. So it sounds to me like she was a bit silly for waiting to be that desperate before trying to access the toilet, and John was being a bit of an idiot hogging the bathroom. Rather than arguing with each other, they are projecting their anger at you, which is just ridiculous. Not the idiot. John is a pig. Macy is dating a pig. She can use her shower at home or piss in his bathtub if the aforementioned problem happens again. I mean, it's nasty anyway, right? Plus, who lets their girl come over without making sure the porcelain throne is squeaky clean? What an animal.